What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. Alright. I swear to God, I hate doing these videos. I feel like I have to babysit children. I swear to God. Okay. So today I'm on just my pet build, but I've left some points allocated. I'm just going to go over things. I'm going to be switching out artifacts, abilities, just to kind of demonstrate what's going on, right? And how numbers and math apply. And you don't even need, here's the beautiful thing. Once you have this principle understood, you don't even need to second guess yourself anymore. You really don't. And I'm just going to, I mean, you should always test. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you don't need to waste time and resources. Okay? Once you understand these principles. All right. So, just from the rip, I did allocate all my points. I'm only going to put 100 into might at this moment. Why? Because I get a 10% increase to my might. All right. It's just that simple. Let's keep it simplistic at first. Okay? Now, the first thing I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to remove pages of the black. Okay? I'm just going to remove pages of the black. We're going to use our spam at this point. Well, it works for my rotation, and that's Hope Wave. So I use Hope Wave. So, just to kind of give you guys an idea what's going on. So Hope Wave is my main. Now I'm going to throw in the crit there, so you guys understand the difference between applied effect and whatever. Alright, so let's expand this. Okay, so what we're going to be taking a look at is Hope Wave. Okay, now as you guys can see, my Hope Wave prior to using my ability for Neuron was 3978. After applying Neuron, that was the critical. Now, after applying Neuron, it went up to 41. Okay? So, we're just kind of going over that effect. Okay? So, the, Candle of Neuron boost up my damage. Why? Because I'm getting an increased value to critical chance and critical output. Now, my base damage, when you take a look at the base damage, it's 19. So that didn't change. So as you guys can see, the base damage didn't change between the two. But the critical values did. See? Or 18. So, and here's 1801. So it went up a little bit. I'm sorry. So it went up by, from 18 to 19. Okay? All right. So we got a small bump, right? Now, I need to be even a little lower. All right. Now we're going to add back on the pages of the black. Okay? We're just keeping it simple at first, and then we're going to expand into everything. So, very simple. Now we're going to add this. All right. So now you see those crits went up a lot more because we've applied what? A modifier. A damage modifier. So now, when we take a look at Hope Wave, and this is the most, shouldn't have even been Circle of Destruction, but we're taking a look at the Hope Wave. So now we're at 25. Okay. So now this is kind of where you're increasing base damage. Now, let's hypothetically say we're going to apply. Now, base damage, you really want to pay attention to your base damage, right? So 25, 25, that's without crit. Critical, there's your critical. Invigorating Hope Wave critical. 55. 25 base, 55 crit. Okay, there's our critical value. But we're doing a lot more base damage than critical. Okay? Very important to pay attention to your critical and base value. Because what we're going to do now, we'll replace the Candle of Neuron with the transformation card. Okay? Alright. Okay. Now, what does everybody think that's going to be? Okay, we're going to get increased critical, right? Critical damage, though, we went from 51 down to 50. And our base damage suffered. Our base damage went down. But why? But why? Yes, I'm critting more frequently. That's a factor. I'm not saying it isn't. Definitely is. But the reason it went down is the wording exactly on the transformation card. Gain 20% critical chance and 30% critical magnitude on attacks and heals, but reduce the total damage and healing done by 15%. So 15% of our base value got reduced. Okay? That also affects critical output. Your base value is a factor in total critical output. Okay. Simple. So simple. Just right now, let's say we want to go ahead and stack up on critical values, right? You can do that. Nobody's saying you can't. So now we're going to double stack up on this with still just one modifier. Okay? Okay. So, anyways, I'm just kind of showing all of this off. Now, before we hit the candle, we were at soul signature 51, and then with candle we're doing 54. Okay, now base damage went up a little bit, but it's like night and day. Okay, between your base and your critical. Okay, now here's the deal, pickles. Let's say we go ahead, and this should be a no-brainer. These are all no-brainers. Let's say I want to go ahead and swap out my allies. Right now, this is what I got, but we're just going to go ahead, equip Starfire, All right. In here. Just, you know, just to illustrate something. We're going to switch out the loadout 2 from the shield to the weapon buff. And we're going to even get more, right? Because we're adding another modifier. Okay. So. All right. Now. When we take a look now, we're doing 56. Okay. So did it go up? Yes. 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 Of course it did. Because we're applying modifiers. Now let's let's go here with your procs. Okay. So for example, I'm going to remove my pet trinket. We're going to go in with solar amplifier just for a second. But here's the deal. You can put in Omega. You can put in whatever you want. It doesn't even matter. All right. What I'm going to demonstrate here is just simple. It's fucking simple. You simpletons. So we're going to put in our solar amplifier right here. And I'm just going to show you, for example, without Starfire, without applying the Starfire. Okay. Buff. So we're even going to get the critical on. Oh, didn't want that. Have it. Okay. I guess it's kind of good anyways. Okay. Now, obviously we know the answer to this. Well, I hope you do. You know, I hope you do. Did we do more damage with the heat vision with or without Starfire buff? Okay. When you backtrack through the logs, you're going to see when. Now see, the critical values are still going to apply. My critical chance increases with my artifacts. Right? So we did a 7, 7, a 12, and then we had a critical for 16. Okay, and we even got started off with the 30. As we scroll down, though, you're going to notice something. See, now we got heat amplifier that it's declining when that buff fades off. Okay. So the biggest problem that most people will have is they try to use procs, right? Okay, now we'll get 3 with it. Drink that. That's going to boost my damage too. Okay, so as you guys can see here, right? Now for a single target, it does pretty good. For single target damage, it's not bad. And if I'm going to use a proc, like, and it is a proc because it's based on activation, as you guys can see, it's pretty decent single target damage that has an AoE effect when you max it. Alright, so there's nothing, you're going to see increases with the modifier. When it drops off, it comes down. The problem is, if we lose any base value, let's say we're not using Pages of the Black, we just take it off, and then we still go ahead and use that amplifier, we're diminishing the damage. I forgot to even add that last time, but you're going to get the point. All right. So what you see here is now we see decline based on value, right? And what's even worse is if you take a look at my invigoration declines due to using a proc because I'm going to lose stats. So for example, you're going to see my invigoration, right? Heat amplifier, those are all amplifiers. So let's just do this like this. Hold on. So we're still going to use this buff. Throw that buff too. Okay. Okay, so it's enough to read it. All right. So now we have a 42, right? But let's say, you're getting rid of your proc. You want your abilities to deal more damage across the board. Why am I going to use a proc? Why? Why would I do that? I don't know, George. I don't know. Enlighten us, Mystic, please. And pretty. If I want to increase the damage, let's just say, like, I'm using another modifier. For this demonstration, we're going to use Tet. Okay? So we'll get double the might buff with Tet. Okay. Forgot. Now we're up to 70. You guys seeing that? See, there's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Procs are never going to be a fucking meta. Procs are never going to be a meta. Because it literally slows down your damage. Now here's a nice even kicker. What I showed you earlier. So you just saw it, right? You just fucking saw what I was able to pull out with Hope Wave. Okay? You literally fucking saw Hope Wave. There's 64. There's 70. Okay. Okay. You want to see another trick? Get ready for this, ladies and gentlemen. It'll blow your fucking mind. I'm going to put 100 into health. Why? Because I'm using Tet. It's going to increase my health by 10%, thus pushing out the output of the buff. Why you guys got away from the fucking scalable DPSs, I have no idea. You guys are dipshits. Look at that, George. Oh my gosh, I'm up to 73. How the fuck did Mystic do that? Oh my god! Oh my god, how did he do it? How the fuck did he just do that? Oh my god! Oh my god, that's crazy. That's just insanity. You guys are fucking dipshits. You know that, right? Now, you want to see a neat little trick here? Let's remove this. Right? Because remember, it's hampering down my damage. I'm going to put on the Heart of Ices. Alright. Get ready. We're going to literally put in the ability. Now, I'm going to preamp this. Just so you guys get a kind of a clear idea of what's going on here. So I'm just going to, you know, prep it up to the last one. Alright. Now we'll get out of combat for a second. Just for a second. Alright. Alright. Now I'm up to 79. Did you catch it? Don't worry, it's on the chart. $73. Oh, 69. 73. So there you have 73. But the base went up too. So I lost a smidge off my critical output. But look at my base damage. 30. So now I have a base damage modifier increase. Because I'm losing, that's the deal here, I'm losing damage to transformation card. Okay? So imagine putting Ebon right here. Right? Now let's say, you know, for some reason I didn't want to use, you know, Scrap of the Soul Cloak. You know, for some reason. Whatever. And let's say, you know, I wanted to increase the base damage. And we go with another proc. Now this is a proc. This is an activation. That's an activation. When these aren't up, I'm just sitting on them. It affects my damage. Transformation card applies automatically. Okay? So we already understand that principle. Well, at least you should. But I don't know sometimes. But okay, so once again, throw. Okay? Now, did anybody see what's going on here? Look at the base damage. Look at the critical. 74. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. And we're going to replace the eye of Gemini with the transformation card yet again. Now, once again, you're going to see the same kind of shit. See, our critical went down. And base. For slotting the transformation card. Don't come in here. Horace, Zazo, Mel, Florida Boy. Don't any of you wannabes come in here talking shit to me. You don't know the fucking numbers. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're dipshits. Don't even try. As a matter of fact, I just handed you guys a freebie lesson. I even get way more in depth than this, bitches. I told you, I warned you. I was coming for you. Without a doubt. There's never going to be a proc. Now, you could go precision. I'm not dismissing precision builds. There's something, like I said, I know things that 99% of the community don't know. And I'm not obligated to tell you shit. Shit, you should be considering yourself lucky that I'm just putting you guys in your place with this fucking video. But there's never going to be a proc that's going to contribute to overall DPS. Why do you guys think you use Constantine? It applies a modifier, percentage modifier. It's good, but the problem of it is against a player like me, you've subtracted another damage source. I'm going to stand in your circle, and then I'm going to launch an ally. Now, that ally's damage is not affected by the modifier, but all of my abilities are. And attacks. I'm just adding an additional source of damage that you've subtracted. And still getting your buff. Vishtia. Okay? You guys aren't in my league. You're not. This is what alphas do. Bitch betas like you pretend you know what you're talking about. Have a nice day.